I'm sorry, I didn't.
Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Mr. Marty!
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you very much.
Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Mr. Marty!
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you very much.
Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Mr. Marty!
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you very much.
Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Mr. Marty!
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you very much.
Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Mr. Marty!
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you very much.
Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Mr. Marty!
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you very much.
Balco was founded in 1984, Bay Area Laboratory Cooperative. I got a facility and I built the laboratory from the ground up. We did comprehensive blood testing for athletes, and then I designed supplement programs for them. The clear I was buying from a chemist, Patrick Arnold, and he told me that he had this liquid substance that seemed to help with athletes' recovery. So I bought a bottle of this stuff for, I think, $150. It was a 100cc bottle. And you took an eyedropper and you put a couple drops under your tongue. He called it stuff, which now is referred to as THG, tetrahydrogesterone. Somehow this chemist, he created a whole new steroid, okay? And so I got some, I tried it myself. When I tested my own urine, it came back clean. It was because they weren't testing for that because it wasn't on the market. And if it was not illegal and it was undetectable, then I started giving it to athletes, what became known as the clear at the time, which was simply an undetectable designer steroid. The first athlete that I gave the clear to was Bill Romanowski, a football player. And then I started giving it to other world-class athletes like sprinter Tim Montgomery and some other track members of the 2000 Olympic team. We started with the blood testing to determine what specific nutrients that the athlete would need. And it's not about taking mega doses of any one nutrient or any one drug. It's about a proper balance. We were using multiple different drugs. The clear, I realized that this is way too strong to be used in the manner that I was told that it was being used. I had the athletes take a very different dosage, much lower, on Monday. And then on Tuesday, I developed this cream that had epitestosterone and testosterone to keep your TE ratio in balance. That was kind of a masking agent. So they would take the clear Monday, the cream Tuesday, the clear Wednesday, the cream Thursday, then be off on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Now, they were taking other drugs like growth hormone. You typically do that daily at night. A lot of people believe that, it was all about the clear. We were using other types of drugs, including EPO, EPO is a hormone that your body naturally produces. It gets manufactured in the bone marrow, and it stimulates the production of red blood cells. So this really enhances stamina and endurance. You can do more repetitions at a higher intensity. The definition that I got one time from a world-class sprinter was, it turns you into a machine. You simply do not get tired. Once I received the drugs from the various sources, I would create a calendar for the next month on what days to take the cream, what days to take the clear, what days to inject the growth hormone, what days to inject the EPO. Everybody called it Victor's short leash. I would send the clear and the cream in little packets and use FedEx. Now, of course, I would talk to them on the phone and consult with them. Some of them came and actually, we would go train near Balco at the time. And so I was creating the programs and supervising the programs.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Roll the Tape film crew, we've heard enough. Welcome to another episode, another edition of Roll the Tape podcast with Manager Marty. I'm your host, Manager Marty. I welcome each and every last one of you. Double salute to all of the members of the channel, supervisors of the Roll the Tape film crew. I welcome you. If you are here for the first time, I welcome you. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel. And please feel free also to go to other parts of my channel so that you can be exposed to all of the content. If you are a spy, I welcome you. If you are a hater of mine, I welcome you. If you are a detractor of mine, I welcome you. If you're a part of the Roll the Tape film crew family, I welcome you. And if you're watching the replay of this live, I welcome you as well. Now, we have to start this off the right way. At the bottom of your screen, you see it, $ Manager Marty, that's the Cash App. Please support the channel. I serve so much. I really do. I love serving food over here after I air fry it. It costs money to purchase groceries, right? Support the channel. You can also click the super thanks button when you watch the videos. You can also, right now, or through the duration of this live broadcast, you can also support by investing your money, investing your resources in super chats and super thanks. All donations are greatly appreciated. And I am definitely going to publicly acknowledge all contributions made to defray the cost of all the groceries that we serve here. Appreciate y'all so very much. Now, enough with the hugs, handshakes, and Valentine's Day cards. Before I start this off, let me first give a shout out to my guy. He's a day one supporter of the channel. He's a member of the channel, supervisor of the Roll the Tape film crew. He's my guy, good buddy of mine. Yes, indeed. My main man, Pots and Pans, the one who coined the phrase calling me the professor. And that's my guy, Matthew Thomas. Double salute, Matt. Thank you, Matt. Representing Las Vegas. We got people all over the world that watch this channel. All the way from Las Vegas, my guy, Matt Thomas. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate your support and contribution to the channel, man. He just plugged up the air fryer as the viewership is increasing exponentially. Now, enough with the hugs, handshakes, and Valentine's Day cards. Let's get to it. Now, I want y'all to know something, that anyone can click the link at any time. Feel free to click the link at any time. It's pinned to the chat if you want to come up and talk to me. However, with that being said, there will be a small portion of this show, a small segment of this show today that's titled Nip It in the Bud. If you remember from 2 years ago, if you are a supporter of this channel, if you are part of the Roll to Tape family, you remember that 2 years ago, I wanted to be creative and I wanted to set myself apart from other content creators by developing different segments that will galvanize the boxing community and fans all over the world to engage and participate on the live broadcast. So the nip it in the bud segments, when we get to that portion of the show, it's only specifically for Terrence Bud Crawford fans. If you are a Terrence Bud Crawford fan, you don't have to go on no one else's platform. No, you don't. Not right now, you don't. We have a segment reserved just for you where you can click that link that's pinned to the top of the chat. And after you click it, I'm going to allow you to come on. And then you can talk to me. We can talk about how Canelo Alvarez will be destroyed by Terrence Crawford. We can talk about how Canelo Alvarez is going to get knocked out by Terrence Crawford. This is what we've been hearing from Bud fans. So I want y'all to be able to stand on that. In fact, if you want to say anything else about Terrence Crawford, feel free. This is the space where your perspective is greatly welcomed and appreciated. Don't be scared to click the link. And I have to show my face to say this next part. Right? Because a lot of people get so comfortable. Y'all know what this means when I wear the hoodies, right? If you don't know, you keep watching me long enough. I'm with the grits today. When you see me in the hoodie, I'm with the grits. Now, with that being said, a lot of people get comfortable. I noticed that. They get comfortable when they want to talk about Terrence Crawford. They get comfortable when they want to talk about the snack program. They get comfortable when they want to talk about VADA testing. They get comfortable when they want to talk about Victor Conti. They get very comfortable when they want to talk about these 4 topics on other people's platform. And then when I jump on other people's platforms, other people's panel to show my support, like when I show my support to my homegirl, 2 Cents Boxing, who's in the chat, member of the channel. Like I show support to my other homegirl, Jab Queen Boxing, member of the channel. She's in the chat. I just want to come and be a part of the show to show those sisters support because of the respect and love I have for both of them. I can't even jump on a panel and be a part of the experience without someone else bringing up snap. So I got something for all of you today, Terrence Crawford fans. You don't have to wait until you go on someone else's platform to speak to me. All you got to do is click that link and come talk to me. That's all you really have to do. And so all I'm saying is this. When you want to know something, all you have to do is ask. Because I'm not going to argue with nobody. I want to put something in perspective real quick. Everyone knows that I am a business representation of the sport of boxing. It's no secret. Everyone knows that, right? So I don't get any credit going back and forth with a casual boxing fan. I'm in the business. I don't get no credit for that. My job is to educate you. Now, do I use certain things as teachable moments? Absolutely. Do I use entertainment to illustrate my references? Absolutely. That's what I do. But at the same time, when I have to go back and forth to try to prove something to other content creators or boxing fans, it starts to become redundant. And then I have to reevaluate myself and say, wait a minute, I'm in the business. I don't have to go back and forth with anybody. The bottom line is this. I don't eat Brussels sprouts because I don't like them. So when I go to a restaurant and they're serving Brussels sprouts, 10 times out of 10, I'm not going to look at the menu and then order the Brussels sprouts that I don't like. In other words, if you don't like me, If you don't like the food that I serve, then why do you keep eating it? It's just a question. Now, with that being said, right? For example, I want to give a homework assignment to all the Terrence Bud Crawford fans. I want to give a homework assignment to you right now. The link is still pinned to the top of the chat. And I can't wait until Terrence Crawford fans come up here because we can have a dialogue about this upcoming fight. Something that I started 2 years ago in the build-up and promotion of Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence. And then subsequently following that, I actually built another segment called Truth Hurts. Obviously, it's a play on the moniker of Errol the Truth Spence, where Errol Spence fans had an opportunity to come up to the platform and then express how do they believe or why do they believe Errol Spence would win against Terrence Crawford. Okay, so I'm bringing that back. With that being said, I have a homework assignment. Flyer frequency. You can click the link if you want. You're welcome here. Now, homework assignment for Terrence Bud Crawford fans. Now, you can do this homework assignment at any time. You can do it now, live. You can wait till later, which I recommend you do because I don't want you to miss the education I'm gonna give you today. But you could wait till tomorrow because I'm coming back here live and live in color tomorrow. I just want y'all to know I will be here live and live in color tomorrow. And I expect for every Terrence Crawford fan, if you have the answer to this homework assignment, to come on up and educate the public. Okay? Double salute to my guy, Sin Ironheart. He's a member of the channel, supervisor of the Road to Tape film crew. This is the question that I have. Terrence Crawford is ranked number 1 in the 168-pound division. I want to know from Terrence Bud Crawford fans, how is this possible when he never even competed in the weight class? This is Terrence Crawford's first time competing at 168 pounds to challenge for Canelo Alvarez titles. So I want to know from Terrence Crawford fans. Okay? Terrence Bud Crawford is ranked number 1 in the 168-pound super middleweight division. I want to know from Terrence Crawford fans, how is this possible if he never even competed in the weight class? This will be his first time competing in the weight class against Canelo Alvarez. Okay? Now, if you are a Terrence Crawford fan and you have that answer right now, feel free to click the link so that you can come up and educate the audience. Okay? There's a reason why I'm asking that question. Okay? Boots was ranked as well. 154-pound division. Not number 1, but he's ranked. Okay. Devin Haney ranked as well. 147 pounds. And of course, now he's challenging for a title. So for Terrence Crawford fans, I want to understand, how is this possible? There's a reason why I'm asking that question. Okay? All right. Now that we got that out the way, let's address the elephant in the room. Because I like to address the elephant in the room. But the way I address elephants in the room, I feed them peanuts. I feed the elephants peanuts. Yeah, I feed them peanuts. I don't like just addressing the elephant in the room and then leaving out the room. No. I like addressing the elephant, feeding the elephant peanuts, and staying right there and see how the elephant going to react. I mean, that's just me. Double salute to my guy, all things. He's a member of the channel, supervisor of the Road to Tape film crew, and the viewership is increasing exponentially. Now, the link is pinned to the top of the chat for anybody that want to come up. But I have it reserved, though. I have it reserved for Terrence Crawford fans. Now listen, grab a plate. I have some food that I want to serve you. some food for thought. Grab a plate. Come on in. Come on in. Grab a plate and come on in. Okay? That's my way of saying click the like button. All right? Support the channel. When you come over here, right, I don't mind you eating all the food I'm going to serve you. But you don't have to bring aluminum for you. Because you know when you bring your own aluminum for you to the family barbecue, that's an indication that you're going to take the food, eat it, and then you're going to use the aluminum for you for a different plate that you're going to take the food that I'm serving, put it on a new plate, and then use your aluminum foil to take it back over to either your platform if you're a content creator that's not cool with me, or you're going to use my food and repeat it and spit it up on someone else's panel. You don't have to do that. All you got to do is click that link and come talk to me. All right? Yeah, I'm wearing a hoodie today. Yeah, you know how it is. A lot of people go on other people's panels and they get so comfortable, you know? They get so comfortable when I come up. But them same people won't click the link when I go live. That's funny to me. I mean, to me, it's just funny. That's all. Yeah. You see, we got people in the live chat right now saying that I hate Bud Crawford. I need you to click the link though, because I want to know, how do I hate Bud Crawford? I just want to know. You know, I don't ask for much. Double salute to my guy. He's a member of the channel, honorary, and guess what? He's a day one supporter. Creo the Traveler, my guy. Thank you for your support and contribution, Creo. Creo says we need answers. Listen now, this is an opportunity for Terrence Bud Crawford fans. It don't make a difference if you like me or not. Your perspective is welcome on this platform. Just click the link, come talk to me. Yeah, you don't have to, just type in the chat. You can come right up here. Yeah, just come on up. Let's talk. Let's have a conversation. Because I want to hear how you feel. You know? I just want to hear how you feel. Now, I want to say something about this whole business with Terrence Crawford and Snack. Y'all don't mind, do you? I'm sure you don't. Look at your screen for me, please. Listen, we're going to end this controversy today. Here it is. Go and look at your screen if you can, all right? If you can't look at your screen, it's okay. You can still participate in the live because I'm going to read it, all right? And I want a Terrence Crawford fan to click the link and talk to me about this, okay? Because a lot of Terrence Crawford fans don't like when I bring up Snack, when I talk about Terrence Crawford. They don't like it. I mean, even Two Cents Boxing even saw this last night on Jab Queen's Boxing's channel on her panel last night. I mean, a lot of Terrence Crawford fans get so irritated. I don't know what's wrong. I mean, they get so angry for some odd reason when I bring up Terrence Crawford's name and associate his name with Snack. I don't know why people get so uncomfortable. Why are people so angry about this? Why are people's reactions so animated when I bring up Snack and Terrence Crawford? I mean, it got so bad that a few weeks ago, nearly a month ago, people were criticizing the fact that I and other content creators who were bringing up Snack, associating Devin Haney and Terrence Crawford to it by trying to use race relations and say that people are just picking on the black fighters with Snack. I know that most of that was an indirect shot at manager Marty, but I didn't get mad. I just want to understand what is the problem. Let me read what's on your screen, okay? Because I have some questions I want to ask Terrence Crawford fans about. I can't wait till a Terrence Crawford fan or two or three click the link. Let's talk. And this is not a direct shot at Mr. Greg or Band Up, because they are the only two that typically click the link every single time. And they're always welcome. I have a high regard and respect for both guys. But at some point, we need some Terrence Bud Crawford fans to stand up for the guy. You don't have to run on someone else's platform. I'm opening up the platform for you now. Let's talk about Terrence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. I've heard Bud Crawford fans say that Canelo will be dominated. Okay? I heard Bromack, the trainer of Terrence Crawford, even say that the power don't mean nothing. His weight don't even mean nothing. They're going to dominate Canelo Alvarez. I've heard Bud Crawford fans even say that Bud is going to knock out Canelo Alvarez. I've even heard a Bud Crawford fan say that Bud Crawford can literally do the same thing that he does in every fight without reinventing the wheel. You know, sit back for 4 rounds straight consecutively and quote unquote download information against Canelo. I mean, I've heard a lot of different perspectives. So I feel like, why not put the nip it in the bud segment out there to give Bud Crawford fans an opportunity to just come on up here and talk and tell us, why do you believe that Terrence Crawford will dominate Canelo Alvarez? Why do you believe that Terrence Crawford will knock out Canelo Alvarez? There's nothing wrong with that. It's your perspective and you are entitled to it. I just want to know why. I also want to know something else. Let me read what's on your screen, shall we? This is from Victor Conti's Snack System Instagram's page. And I'm going to read it. Victor Conti's Sports Nutrition Company. Snack offers products that improve your level of fitness, help lose fat, build muscle, and enhance performance. I'm going to read it again for the people that's in the back of the classroom with their head down, sleeping. Victor Conti's Sports Nutrition Company. Snack offers products that improve your level of fitness, help lose fat, build muscle, and enhance performance. That's what the advertisement says when we talk about snack. So I have a question on that. Why are Terrence Crawford fans getting angry with me when I say that Terrence Crawford's performance in his last 4 fights with Victor Conti has been enhanced? Why do people get so mad about that? I mean, the advertisement I just read tells you that the product enhanced those athletes' performances. Why is everybody getting mad? If you know that Terrence Crawford's performance is enhanced, then say that. It's okay. I mean, apparently Terrence Crawford fans, they don't have a problem with Terrence Crawford associating himself with Victor Conti. So if you don't have a problem with it, then what's wrong? What's the point of getting so upset? Why? Why get upset about it? I mean, look, the guy's performances have been enhanced. I mean, that's all I'm saying. Why get angry with me for saying the fact that Terrence Crawford's performances are being enhanced while he's with Victor Conti? Now, I do have to say this because I say it all the time. Legally or illegally is what I leave up to the experts. I'm not an expert, okay? Never once claimed to be when it comes to dissecting what's legal and or illegal, okay? I'll leave it up to the experts. I'm just saying, just foundationally speaking, Terrence Crawford's performance have been enhanced since he's been with Victor Conti and the SNAP program. I mean, what is wrong with me saying that? Now we have a Terrence Crawford fan in the back. He's highly regarded and respected by me. He's a supporter of this channel. He's been rocking with Bud Crawford from day one. And I love how he gives his presentation because he keeps it real. And when he himself has been suspicious, he even admitted that things don't sound right when it comes out of Terrence Crawford's mouth. Not saying that Terrence Crawford did anything wrong per se, but I will let him tell you. In fact, I have to give a disclaimer on this. The next guest that's coming up here actually purchased the snack products online. And my God, I'll tell you, and so will he. Snack works. Brother dude, my God. Mr. Greg, what's going on, man?
Good afternoon, Mark. I
It works, Mr. Greg. Even you told me that.
nobody should ever say that any nutritional product or program, whether it's snack or anything else, should not work. That's the first thing. Most, be it GNC or any others, use similar language. Improve performance, uh, help you build muscle, uh,
Here it is, Mr.
recovery
Greg. No, here
time.
it is. Here it
Yeah,
is on your screen, Mr. Greg.
recovery time. So most nutritional products use that same kind of language. So we shouldn't be surprised that the snack product does the same thing. I think the difference between all of the other companies that is Victor Conte. You know what had done. You know what he's been guilty of. You know he said don't trust. Well, I shouldn't say don't trust him, but be suspicious of him. So that separates how people see the snack products from any of the other products because of him. But the language, all of them use that language. And as a matter of fact, I would say any athlete that are using supplements or going into a strength and conditioning program, all of those things, if you are not enhanced, because you got to understand what enhanced actually means, if you do not improve, if your fans don't see you do something better or even see you try different things in whatever sport you're participating in, you've wasted your time with whomever you went to help you get better, to help you improve, to help you go to another level. This is what these programs should do. And I would say with the snack program, I don't know what the actual program is, and that's something that I think we need to know more about what the program actually is. We know what the supplements are. One of the questions, if you remember, that I asked Victor Conte when you had him on, was were the athletes using the same things that I could buy? He said they were, but I tend to believe that can't be actually true only because I'm not an athlete. I'm not performing. And so what I might need and the milligrams of what I might need may be more or less than someone else. And I think it would have been better if he had said they use primarily the same thing, but we customize it because it needs more vitamin C, more vitamin D, et cetera, et cetera. The thing about the blood, I'll just go down the list. I know you're going to hit on it. You should have your blood tested regardless of where you are, because you don't know what it is that you need in your system until you have an analysis of your blood. So I understand the concept of let's not just go buy something and you may not need that particular product or that particular amount. Let's find out exactly where you're deficient at, and let's see where we can improve there in terms of your supplements. Let's also look at what actually are you eating? Are you eating a lot of processed foods? Are you eating a lot of garbage? Are you eating a lot of desserts, et cetera, et cetera? So those things need to be done. I think the word enhance again has taken on an ominous meaning because people immediately think something untoward, something illegal, something bad or dirty because of the word. It's just like when you use the word grooming. A lot of us know grooming doesn't have to mean that you're trying to groom somebody to do something good, do something bad, but because it's been used particularly in the world of pedophile guys who are pedophiles and so forth. They've been grooming children and so forth. That that word has just taken on a very sort of nasty meaning when it much broader than that. So I think that's why when you have fans who get upset when they hear enhanced, they just get upset and they think it's implying that somehow he's cheating. Now, Victor has not helped himself or his athlete, in my opinion, when you say stuff like, I know how to beat the systems, I know how to work it out where you're not found to have anything in you and things of that nature. So that doesn't help it at all because you think, well, he knows how to hide it, he knows how to make it undetectable. When undetectable really means that there is no test yet for whatever it is that you're looking for. That's all it really means because there's nothing you can put on your system that can't be found if you have the test to find it. So it's a play of words. It's a bad philosophy in some cases, and it's also the person who is, in this case, Victor Conte, who's saying these type of things and is upsetting fans. I understand why fans are upset. I would prefer myself for Victor Conte to not be part of sports, period, just because of what he's already done. Because there's going to be people who are never going to believe him, who are never going to forgive him, and I'm sure he's accepted that because he's gone nowhere. He's in boxing primarily because the powers that be in boxing want him there. That's the only reason I could come up with, because if they didn't want Victor there, Victor would be out of there immediately. We got people who can't come back, who can't even come into a gym now. And you know I'm speaking of Panama Lewis for one. They can't even be in the ring where a fight's taking place. So you're going to tell me that Victor Conte can't be banned from the ring, can't be banned from boxers' camps? But they want him there. And because I guess, like I said, this, or as you've said, and I said too, the product, at least for what I have used, do work. They do improve. So if you're improving, accept that. Yeah, I want to be, if I was fighting right now and I'm at the very top, my question to myself would be, how do I stay there? What do I need to do to stay there legally, of course, but basically, what do I need to do to stay there, to continue performing at the level? Because the target is on me now. I got all the belts, or I'm the one who's a cash cow, et cetera, et cetera. How do I stay there for the duration of the time I'm going to be in boxing? And so sometimes there are other good people. We know them. I mean, for instance, when Bernard went up and Roy went up to their different weight classes, they used Maxie Shilstein. Great person to have in the sport of boxing. There probably are other guys somewhere around who are similar to him, but we don't know about. There are other products that are probably being used that aren't illegal. We don't know about it. Victor's cast a bad light on probably what is a good program and good supplements because of who he is. And because you take, it's like the rotten apple in a barrel. It just spoils their whole batch. You have to throw everything out. And in this case, all of I think it's 15 fighters right now, and a number of trainers who endorsed the snack product and well, the program, because they got the T-shirts and everything else. Because they've done that, a bad light is on their fighters who they train. The suspicion will always be there, and there's nothing now you can do about it. Even as Victor is gone, you'll look at the fights that Victor has been with those fighters at that time with the snack products and program, and you'll always question it. So the argument this is so funny. The only thing, and you did this too, you're responsible for it. The only new thing out of this whole question about Terrence and snack guys are snack and things of that nature that's really come out that's brand new since 2023 is the fact that you have revealed and played the tape a blue I'm going to say blueberry blue bud saying that he's the one who set up the David Abenesian Terrence Crawford fight. That's brand new. So that adds to, I guess, the conversation, but nothing else that we've talked about has been new. It just keeps repeating itself. And we also have seen maybe one or two new fighters who we didn't know probably were over there with Victor or we use Victor all the time have been revealed. But the something new, what I'm looking for something, when I say something new, to really solidify whether Victor has done actual wrong is either for a fighter to admit, I knew we was taking this, but Victor slipped me this too, or we mixed it in something that's illegal, or one of Victor's people, because I'm sure he has some kind of staff. I can't believe it's just him and he don't have a staff of
He
like,
has a staff.
yeah, saying, I can't take it anymore. We over here cheating. I feel ashamed, whatever. And they come forward and tell the whole story. They name names, dates, etc. That then will destroy to me all of the fighters who've been using it. And if even the feds, I think Tucson asked, what would happen if the feds just suddenly swooped in and said all these fighters have to be now examined, have to be tested. When the feds come in, and I've had experience with them, they usually have a lot. They don't close the doors to everywhere that you can escape if you've done something wrong. And I answered that everybody has to be afraid, even if they don't think they've done anything, because it's very easy that you've been told one thing and you foolishly believed it, or you didn't suspect it that he was doing something else, particularly with the products. So that's kind of where I see it on that, because of who he is.
Yeah. I think it's a combination of two things, Mr. Greg. Double salute to Two Cents Boxing. She has been a member of this channel, a supervisor of the Roll the Tape film crew, literally for 21 months. So she was here when all of this started, when I start talking about Snack 2 years ago, and she is here, and she actually made a comment in the super chat by saying it was a reason that Victor Conti couldn't be honest, Mr. Greg. There's a reason. I think that it's a combination of two things. I think the reason why some people may have an issue is because of it's Victor Conti, of course, with his history, and it's because it's me. Mr. Greg, if some other content creator who was just a random YouTuber would have started this entire movement, I don't think they would get the backlash as much as I get.
Forgive me for not mentioning that part about you as well, because for a long time, in my opinion, you've been the sole voice and not just not making accusations, but pointing out things that you saw as being suspicious, pointing out a history of a person that most people had kind of thought nothing about, because if he was banned from all the other sports, you will sometimes even make the assumption, well, if he's banned from sports and you don't know he's in boxing, you just assume that he has gone away. And when that came out to light, and then of course the documentary came, things of that nature, and then you would have people like, I think you had I can't think of his name, the guy who runs track,
Tim Montgomery.
When you have people who come on who had direct experiences,
yes,
that shine a light on everything. That made even fans who didn't know anything, of sports fans who didn't know anything about Victor Conte, at least go watch the documentary, do some research. Those athletes who got ruined and so forth and so on.
Yeah.
You were the one person who was doing that, even while you were, of course, being attacked by Bud fans as well, but other content creators as well. So you stood up to that and cast a light that people had to finally started looking at. You mean when the light is blinding, you can't just cover up your eyes. You have to at least understand what's going on, and that's what you did. And so I forgot to say that that's a very big reason why the conversation has been what it is today. And that's why I say, even like I said, the new, I mean, it's not about the snack program, but the new conversation, the new element was what you told us about Blue Blood and David Ebenezer, and him claiming he made that fight for Terrence. So it would appear to me, at least, that if you're going to be a content creator, if you're very serious about the sport of boxing and things you like to see happen again, that's good, you would join forces. You would do research too. You would try to find out something new and concrete. And of course, say, hey, listen, I'm sorry, Manager Marty, I doubted you or I disrespected you. You opened a door that I needed to go into because I want this sport to do well as well. And they're not going to do that, of course, but I'm going to say it should be done.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get that in and let you go ahead and finish.
Yeah, good point. And what it is like I said, is a combination of who Victor Conti is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also a combination of who I am. You see, if another content creator who was just a random YouTuber started this movement, they wouldn't get the same treatment that I'm getting. They wouldn't be under the same scrutiny that I'm getting. And I've been under this scrutiny, as you pointed out, Mr. Greg, since I started this 2 years ago. Okay. Now, the thing about it is, this whole entire movement unraveled before our eyes at a very fast pace. And I have new members that were not here with me 2 years ago, but they're now a part of the Roller Tape family. And I want to give them a little history lesson if I can, because you were here, Mr. Greg, and a lot of people in the chat, the Roller Tape family was here with me when this whole thing started. I want to give a small little history on this.
Mm-hmm.
2 days after Errol Spence fought Terrence Crawford, I came out and I gave my perspective. It was highly anticipated. It seemed like content creators, boxing fans, Errol Spence fans, Terrence Crawford fans, people in the business of boxing, it seemed that everybody was waiting for Manager Marty to give a response. Why is that? Because I was very critical on Terrence Crawford's behavior patterns when it came down to the last 2 to 3 years before he finalized the deal in the negotiations with Terrence Crawford. I gave Terrence Crawford so many different references on how he can secure the deal. And the first thing that I said on YouTube, Terrence Crawford needs to stop allowing his ego to get the best of him by thinking that he can negotiate with well-experienced negotiators and deal closers like Steven Espinosa and Al Heyman. He went on an Instagram live himself, November of 2022, nearly 1 month and 2 weeks before he fought David Ebenezer. And he said, I got the tape queued up and I wish that Terrence Bud Crawford would challenge me. I'll play it and roll the tape. He said, I sit and I make my own deals. I sit with the big wigs and the higher ups. It's just me. Errol Spence, he needs Al Heyman. He needs Al Heyman. I'm my own boss. And I corrected Terrence Crawford. Not because I don't like the guy, because apparently I do. And I said, Bud, that's not the way. The right way is to do what the manager is telling you to do. Go get you experienced boxing representation to go and negotiate with the most experienced negotiators and close the deal. I was getting criticized day in and day out by Terrence Bud Crawford fans, saying you doing way too many videos on Bud Crawford, you're hating on him, blah, 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 blah. And long and behold, Terrence Crawford did what Manager Marty told him to do. He went and hired Ish Henson from CAA Talent Agency in LA and got Ish to close the deal out. He got boxing representation. And not only that, but unfortunately for Errol Spence, the representation turned Errol Spence upside down and shook the change out of his pocket to make everything favorable in the process of Terrence Crawford representing himself as if he was the A side and all along he was the B side.
You see what your recommendation did? Your recommendation, you said, because you actually said to back then, good representation.
Good
And
representation.
he went and got, after he failed, because remember, I was saying he didn't know what he was doing, which he didn't. But I did admire that he at least tried. But then he listened. That was another good aspect of what you have to do when you're out there getting your head bashed in. Sooner or later, you got to listen. He listened. He got good representation. And he did what Terrence has always done. I'll just throw this in. In every single solitary fight he's been in some way, shape, or form, he's been able to bend his opposition's will to his, be it in the ring or be it at the negotiating table, because everybody was surprised, as you remember, that he demanded to get X amount of millions. He got them. But more importantly, Earl came out first. So everybody was stunned from that one.
Everything was in favor of Bud Crawford.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, Errol Spence had a lot to do with that. Obviously, he was so thirsty and so anxious to get this fight. But the point that I'm making is that Terrence Crawford listened to the boxing manager on YouTube, right? Now, not only did he do that, but he turns right around after the fight, goes on Joe Rogan, and he said out of his own mouth, I realized by doing business this new way of getting the money on the back end instead of expecting and wanting the security of a guaranteed purse, that I find myself making more money on the back end opposed to getting the guaranteed purse. These are the words of Terrence Crawford. But these are the things that I have been trying to educate him on day in and day out on this platform. And not one time after the fight did Terrence Crawford fans come back and say, Manager Marty, you were right. But you know what happened after the fight, Mr. Greg? I'm giving a history lesson. Stay with me, y'all. Terrence Crawford won the fight. And there were a lot of content creators who literally thought and predicted that Errol Spence would win.
Yeah.
Errol Spence lost, and guess what the content creators did, Mr. Greg? They went on their platform between 24 and 48 hours, and they apologized to Terrence Crawford for choosing Errol Spence to win. But good old representation, Manager Marty waited an extra day so everybody can shoot their load out. And then I came out 3 days after the fight, Mr. Greg. I got the tape. It's all documented here.
Yeah.
And I said, Terrence Crawford looked different in that fight to me. And Errol Spence looked different in that fight to me.
He did.
And people criticized that. And then I went a step further. And that's when I said, snack was a great element that enhanced the performance of Terrence Crawford, not just in the Errol Spence fight, but in the fight against David Evanesian, when he knocked him out cold, unconsciously with one punch, something that Terrence Crawford never did in his whole career. And then before that, he did something else that's never been done to Sean Porter in Sean Porter's whole entire career. He knocked him down twice. Once again, there was the snack program that enhanced his performance. I was getting beat up left and right on YouTube, left and right. You remember?
I remember.
Mr. Greg?
Yeah.
How the manager remembers this. Creole the Traveler remembers this. They're telling me in the chat, they remember these times.
Everybody remembered.
Everybody came up here. This is where the nip it in the bud started to come, before this was nipping in the bud. Then after the fight, then I started the whole snack movement.
Right.
performance enhancement, snack movement, right? People were criticizing me left and right, left and right, left and right, right? Now check this out, Mr. Greg. After I stood up under that, guess what happened? And I have to bring this up because you were here as a witness. Rachel Donaire never had a problem with it. I have to take my glasses off because this is controversial. Rachel Donaire, and you was here, Mr. Greg.
Yeah, I was here.
Every day I talked about snack. Rachel Donaire never opened her mouth and said she had a problem with it. Am I right or wrong, Mr. Greg?
You're correct.
Never once did she say I was going Hollywood. Never once did she say I should stop talking about this. Never once did she say that I'm insinuating. Never once. It was only after Victor Conti came here. I'm going to put a pin in that because that's not my point. The point I'm making is all of this controversy started to happen. There's content creators right now under the sound of my voice that was scared to talk about snack. They wasn't talking about Victor Conti. They wasn't talking about vital testing, nor was they talking about the snack program. But somehow, some way, after video, after video, after clip that I produced, the whole boxing world has been educated from the 15-year research that I conducted on Snack, Balco, Victor Conti, Alex Ariza, and Memo Heredia. And now, guess what, Mr. Greg? It's the hottest topic on YouTube when you talk about performance enhancement. Everybody and their grandma now is talking about Snack. Everybody's talking about it. And you know what? They're putting me on the line as a poster boy. But people still are not giving me the favor. They're still criticizing me over and over and over again. And I'm standing up under it. But the question becomes one thing. It's the same question, and I hope Pete Flame is here to hear this. It's the same question that I've been asking for over and over for 2 years, Mr. Greg. What did Terrence Crawford call him for? What did he go over there for? If
I told you what I thought.
I know, Mr. Greg, but I need Bud to answer. I need a Terrence Crawford fan. All they got to do is answer. Now, Mr. Greg, that you brought that up, I want to roll the tape on something that you said as the viewership is increasing exponentially, right? Diggle P Flame, there you go. Creole the Traveler told me to cook. I'm air frying today. I'm going to get to the super chats in 1 second. I just want to play this audio. Mr. Greg, this is you, Mr. Greg. This is the second time on January the 3rd of 2024 when Victor Conti was here. It was a question that you asked. You referenced it earlier while you were here. But I want to play it all over again.
Okay.
This is what you asked, Mr. Greg. And we're going to hear what Victor Conti said. Don't take my word for it. Roll the tape. All right, one more. This is from an avid Terrence Buck Crawford fan. You have to answer this, Mr. Conti, because he's been saying this on his platform for a while, and he wants to know the answer. This is from my guy. Double salute to him, Gregory Quarterbaum. Greg says, greeting, Manager Marty, the Roll the Tape film crew or family, and Mr. Conti. Mr. Conti, did you contact Bud Crawford or did Bud Crawford contact you? And when did you actually start working with him? And what was it he needed to improve? So let's break this down in increments. Did you contact Bud or did Bud Crawford contact you?
Okay, as I said earlier, you have these companies out there that for every single fight, I don't know who contracts them, but they go around when they find sponsors and they say, would you like to sponsor this guy? Would you like to sponsor this guy? Would you like to sponsor this guy? Here's how much it's going to cost. I don't know who it was, but somebody that was representing Terrence contacted my office, okay, and wanted some ridiculous amount of money, $50,000 or something crazy for endorsement. I said no. Thereafter, at some point, Terrence called, and I talked with Terrence, aside from this guy. And then Terrence, on his own, he basically said, this is Terrence, and you don't have to sell me on anything. I already know what you do. I've been following you, and I'd like to work with you. blah, blah, blah. And so we had a brief talk. Then he called Demetrius Andrade. He didn't tell me he was going to do that. And Demetrius said, trust me, you want to be with this guy. He will help you in many, many ways. Whatever Demetrius said, he vouched for me. And then Terrence called back and said, I'm in. I want to be with you and Snack. All right. So the first step, as we've always talked about, is let's get your blood testing. Because if all I am is a sponsor and I'm just sending you a fighter training stack that's generic for anybody and everybody, and you're wearing a patch, but I've never talked to you or I've never tested your blood, I don't consider that me working with you, and it's a real working relationship.
Those were the words of Victor Conte. So I'm trying to figure out, how come Terrence Bud Crawford fans are angry with me when Victor Conte said that Terrence Crawford initiated the call, thanks to you, Mr. Greg, throwing an alley-oop with your question in the super chat. This is Terrence. You don't have to sell me on anything. I know your history. I know exactly what it is that you do. I went in on Snap. He called Demetrius Andrade, who was with Snap. Demetrius Andrade said whatever he said. He called Victor Conte back on the phone and told him, what do I have to do? I want in.
Want in. That's the part that whole history of how it took place. A lot of them, because I'm seeing some, I don't know whether this is real or not, but I'm seeing that some people don't know that. And I'm seeing some people don't realize that the fighters that Victor Conte is with, I'm almost certain if Terrence called Victor Conte, so did those other 14 fighters, or at least their people, because the same thing happened with Terrence. His people called Victor Conte first. I'm almost certain Victor didn't just go and introduce himself. I'm sure, for the most part, that all of those fighters or their people made some kind of initial contact with Victor Conte. And I think the people who maybe are critical of you or something of that nature don't have the whole story, or don't even have part of the story to understand how things took place, which is where the problem is, I think, overall. When you don't understand the uses of words, when you don't know the steps that were taking place for something to happen, you form your own opinion, and sometimes it's an emotional one, and sometimes it's one because you favor somebody, and what you're hearing doesn't necessarily shine a positive or a kind light on them. So when someone like me hears you went to Victor Conte, you got involved with Victor Conte, it's taken away from what you're actually able to do because of him. So that's where my suspicions first came from as well. I understand Terrence because I followed his careers from an amateur up to now. That's why I was able to freely say and knowledgeably say what he was going to do in that last fight with Earl, and I knew I was right. But that's beside the point, because I don't even want to litigate that fight anymore. You did something that has a permanent stain on you. Something I've said before. I say it now. It still is going to have a permanent stain on you, because people are not going to separate what you did in preparation and what your skill set is. They're not going to look at your mindset. They're not going to look at all the other things that you're able to do psychologically to prepare and to be in a fight from this Victor Conte and the snack products. All of it is now together, and so should be the suspicion. Is there something, even something small, that's in any of those products that's illegal? Or you use the exception, the therapeutic exception. That I can't hear you.
The therapeutic use exemption.
Yeah. So that's another. Has that been used? I suspected personally. I do even now. I suspected that that was used for both Earl and Terrence in their fight. Have no way of knowing for sure because I know both of them allegedly had some issues medically. Whether it's true or not is besides the point. The suspicion will always be there.
And it's
And
unfortunate, Mr. Greg. I mean,
very unfortunate. Very
here's the thing,
unfortunate.
because look, when I asked him, right, I asked Victor when he was here, if the athletes are already good, most of them are defeated, most of them undefeated, some of them have been world champions before encountering you. They're already good. What did they call you for? Why do they go over the snap, in your opinion? And Victor Conti told me, I got the tape queued up and I will play it. But I don't want to belabor the point, so I want to make sure I'm in and out.
Sure.
Victor Conti said, Marty, don't you like money? I give them money. I give them hotel rooms. But we just heard him say from the second interview that somebody from Terrence Crawford's team called him about money, about sponsorship, and he declined it. So was this really about the sponsorship, or was this about him helping Terrence Crawford? And I quote Victor Conti saying, this is what Andre told Bud, and I can help him in many, many, many ways. Said it about 3 times. This is what is being told to us. So my thing is, how can Terrence Crawford fans get mad at me for reacting to the action of Bud and not hold Bud accountable for his actions? There's a Bible scripture in that says this very plainly. Bad company corrupts good morals. It's very simple. It's a very simple principle. So even if they're not doing anything wrong, and I'm not here to judge whether they are doing something legally or illegally, once again, I'll leave that up to the experts. But let's say everything is on an up and up. Well, the fact that the mere association with Victor Conti, who's doing the same exact things that he did with Balco today, after prison, is causing the fighters to be under scrutiny and suspicion. So don't get mad at me for reacting to their actions. They called that man. They called him. Now, he said that they are elite. Victor said that those snack fighters, they are elite and they are scientifically prepared. Now, I don't know what he means by the many, 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 many ways that he can help Bud Crawford. But I know for a fact there's no science involved when all you doing is handing out supplement. Because that's what Sean Porter said. He said he realized him and Bud was only taking 2 of the snack products supplement. So if Victor's just giving them, he got 1 supplement for you on Monday, and then here's another supplement for you on Wednesday. And anybody can purchase these products online, even non-athletes. Well, what's so scientific about that? So what do Victor mean when he says that? See, these are, it's like the more Victor talk, more questions that people have to ask. Double salute to my guy, Hodge the manager, a.k.a. Aaron H. Muhammad. He's my guy. He was here.
Mm-hmm.
He was here 2 years ago when I brought all this to the forefront. Thank you for your support and contribution. Hodge. Hodge says, Manager Marty, this is what everyone keeps avoiding in the questioning of the SNAP program. Who authorized him to collect blood samples of these fighters? We need answers. That was another question. And that's what Hodge, the manager, is referring to, the question that I've been asking. Who gave him authorization, not only to collect blood from athletes, but to interpret blood results from testing? And also, his words, not mine, give recommendations and even diagnosing people.
And that's why when I say it can't just be the fighter, his whole camp, or at least his handlers who are in the camp with him, has to also, just like whoever it was that called Victor in Bud's camp, they were looking for multiple things. They were certainly looking for money because that's probably what drove them to make that phone call.
He declined it though, Mr. Greg.
No, I get that they declined. He declined it, but I'm saying that's what drove them to call Victor Because, for instance, let's say I'm on your team in some kind of way, be it management or in training, and I'm looking for ways to bring more money into the camp for training or bringing in some new guys that we want to start developing. Where we going to get that money from? Let's find some sponsors. Get on the phone. You'll call a couple of uh, uh, product endorsers or vitamin companies, et cetera, et cetera. And then somebody call this guy here. You call him, meaning Victor. So I think they had the motivation to see if they can get some money. They also thought, maybe his products will work as well, but I don't think it was just one thing. But the reason why I'm saying that is somebody else besides Bud, of course, they had the permission, authorized Victor to bring his staff, whoever the tech is who drew his blood, wherever they sent him blood to be analyzed at. The whole camp and each one of these fighters, some of the other people in that camp are also complicit in
Yes,
the authorization for this
absolutely.
to happen.
Hey, I can call them by name real quick. Robert Garcia, Stephen Edwards, Bomac.
Mm-hmm.
The trainers are complicit. And Victor Conti is now calling the trainers elite all of a sudden.
Now let's get to that.
Real quick, hold on, let me get the super chat,
Okay.
Mr. Greg.
Mm-hmm.
Double
sorry.
salute to my guy, Big Mill 360. Thank you for the contribution and your support to the channel. Big Mill says, Dag, I'm late, but here's a little support. Hey, Big Mill, you know I appreciate you all day and twice on Sunday, man. Appreciate it. We got my guy, Matthew Thomas. One more again. He spent the blockbuster U-turn in the super chat again. Double salute to him. And, of course, double salute to Big Mill again. Mr. Matt says this. The professor brought out the facts. I mean, that's all I can do, Matt, is continue to bring out the facts over and over again. And not only that, Mr. Greg, I have to point this out because a lot of people don't remember the fact that after I put out all the facts, and there's way more facts that I haven't even produced yet, Victor Conti has literally insulted me time and time again. I mean, the man just constantly goes on Twitter over and over again, and he's throwing all these shots at me. In fact, it started in my comments section when Victor Conti left here the second time. He was mad because I started throwing all these videos together, using his own words against him and the inconsistent statements that he's made and the lies that he has told. That's not on me. That's actually on him. But he didn't want to hold himself accountable to that. But instead, he was going in my comments section insulting me, saying that I'm acting like a homeless musician on the side of the road begging for change. I got the footage. I have all of the documents. That's what he said. He also made a reference about my mother, saying my mama need to teach me manners. These are things that this man has said. More recently, calling me a moron, saying that I'm deceiving the audience, saying that I'm a clickbait artist. These are insults that the man has said to me. He told me I need to find a real job. And according to my child support payments, I got a real job, Victor. I want to let you know that right now. But all I'm trying to get at, you know what I'm saying, is the constant scrutiny that I've been under. I've been under scrutiny with Timothy Bradley. Timothy Bradley himself. I'm just catching. Listen, I told you I'm doing a history lesson. This is just a history lesson for the new audience members that don't know the scrutiny that I had to be under. Timothy Bradley said, this doesn't prove anything. I hope you get sued. Timothy Bradley hope I got sued. He hopes I get sued because I'm saying the snack program works. But guess what? A week ago, 2 weeks ago, long and behold, 6 months later, Tim Bradley is on his own videos, on his own channel, talking about how the snack works and the product does this for you and the product make you benefit this. You see what it, see, these people, the reason why they're doing this, and I was trying to allude to this earlier and I brought my point back home, it's not just because of Victor's name, it's because of mine as well. And what I mean by that is this. The other content creators, they can go all day and say whatever they want to say. But what holds weight is when you have somebody who is actively involved in the sport and the business of boxing with the credibility that I have. The voice is louder. It's more magnified when I say performance enhancement opposed to Fanon saying what he said, opposed to what Punch Drunk Boxing says, opposed to what Two Cents say, opposed to what Dean say, opposed to what Jab Queen might say. The other content creators, they can say the same words, boxing ego. They all can showbiz. Everybody can say the same words I say. And they can be scrutinized, and I'm sure they have. But it doesn't hold the same weight, doesn't have the same impact. But it's when I say it. And that's the whole point that I'm trying to drive home.
Do you know why? Do you know why?
Absolutely. But I want you to tell me, because I know where you're going with
For
this.
me, you were the first.
That's
And
correct.
when you intellectually challenge someone with facts, with words, with circumstances, and they falter because they can't keep up with it, what do they resort to?
Insults.
Insults,
All
name
day.
calling. They want to deflect, I should say, over to another area and go after character. But see, when the character that they are insulting has brought out the worst in you and exposed your character of what you're doing and what you are criticizing them about, then forever you are the enemy. You're the one who has caused all the other content creators to take a second look, to take the blinders off. Even if you don't find everything, there's a pathway to now to look at, to walk down. Let me look over here. Let me understand this happened. How? This what? You start reevaluating everything that you've first said. And sometimes you realize you shouldn't have said it in the first place. And then you double back and just switch up. But they don't give you credit for you being the cause of that, because then that would have to mean I was wrong. And most people do not like to be held accountable for being wrong. They just like to let it blow over, particularly if I guess you're a content creator, you're in the media, you're in the public spotlight. You want to always be seen as someone who's giving good information or putting on a good show for the people who are going to come to see. But the true test of any man, in my opinion, is how accountable are you going to be when you're wrong? Will you immediately say, I shouldn't have said this, I was wrong to say that, I didn't know what I was talking about, I was speaking emotionally, whatever it is that you have to recognize where your flaws is, because we all have flaws. You have to admit that, particularly if you're influencing a lot of other people. Like if you got a household full of children and they see you lying, they see you stealing, they see you doing all the negative things, but you taking care of them. And then you have to then turn around and say, y'all don't do it. But you doing it, Dad. Let's just say, Dad, why can't we do it? We learning from you. We see you every day. And so when you make those kinds of a little small mistake, it's always good. It's always, to me, being a man, being held accountable, showing that you have some kind of character. Say, I shouldn't have done that. I was wrong to do that. I apologize. Here's what should have happened. I don't want y'all to go to do the same thing I did because it's wrong to do it or was wrong to say it, or it's not the right information in this case. Let us go and have some integrity about, even if we don't have as many views as the guy over here who's doing something a little bit different. If you're going to be over here with me, here's what we're doing. Here's how we do it. So if you want to follow me, I thank you. But I'm going to tell you, even if it hurts your feelings sometimes, because it will. I mean, it doesn't feel good to know someone that you have some trust in, that you care about, that you like, conducting themselves in a way that you don't feel is honorable, equitable, or even having an integrity. You can like their skill set, you can like how they perform, but you can still dislike. And you've heard me say it about Terrence. I've said Terrence should shut up sometimes, particularly back in 2023 and 24, when it's like, please just be quiet.
Especially when he said, when someone asked him about the snack program, He said, I use certain things with Snack that other fighters don't use. Remember that?
Yeah. And that didn't help matters either. So now you got to ask, because I did ask that question, what were the other things? Never, there was radio silence, I guess, or YouTube silence on that. I still don't know what the other things was and how were they used. Because one question will lead to some other questions. And you got to have somebody who's, in Victor's case, I think Victor either has to just withdraw from being in the world of boxing, because that's the only place he can go for sports, or put himself under scrutiny to the point where every single solitary question that could be asked gets asked and answered directly, even if you don't like the answers. For instance, I would have asked if I could have, if we were talking long term, and he would have been willing to talk. Would I ask who called, what was the conversation, do they use the same thing, and if they do use the same thing, how do you know what to give, et cetera, et cetera. And of course, he would have to ask about blood. I would have asked, was it a tech drawing blood? Where's the blood being sent to for analysts? Where did you learn how to interpret? Because I know where I learned. I just learned from my doctors. I asked questions, they showed me, but it took a while for me to really understand. But the point is, I would need to know for someone who's so controversial, who's such a lightning rod, who's a person that most people don't want in, fans, I should say, don't want in the sport. You got to answer all of these questions, and you still may not be believed, but you have to subject yourself to those harsh questionings. So you at least say, okay, I still don't like this guy, but he answered everything that was asked. He has to be able to, and I don't think he's willing to do that because it's very difficult to do that. It's going to make you mad because some people are going to ask you questions just going to piss you off, even though they're legitimate questions. And that's what you've also done. You've angered him because now now he has to face this kind of scrutiny. He's under a big spotlight because the first thing anybody would say, you can't go to no other sport in the history of sports in this country right now. Nobody wants you there. Any athlete court associated with you is going to find himself fined or suspended or what have you. But yet you can still come to boxing. Now, why? As I just said, the powers that be in boxing wants him there, so they should be questioned as well. You know what this man does. You know what he's caused. Why are y'all letting him be here?
I got an answer for that, and then I'm going to let you go to see if more Terrence Crawford fans want to
Okay,
come.
okay.
The answer to that question is very simple, Mr. Greg. It's because the powers that be in boxing, they believe. Why do they believe? When I mean believe, I'm being very specific.
Mm-hmm.
They believe that Victor Conti has changed. Why do they believe?
Mm-hmm.
It's because for the last 12 to 13 years, Victor Conti has had the privilege of walking everywhere in any environment in the sport of boxing, holding hands with the testing agency that validates him and gives him credibility. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
That's why. You understand where I'm
You
going,
get it?
Mr.
Yeah,
Greg?
absolutely. And I'll
That's
say this
why.
so I can go, so somebody, because I know I can start talking. We'd be here for the next 2 hours. When I was, and I want, this has nothing to do about Victor, it has to do more about Terrence and Canelo. I
Yes.
just want to get that in.
30 seconds if you can, Mr. Greg.
Okay, I'll just say this. As I said about telling Terrence being able to bend anybody, his opponents to his will, he's really already done that with Canelo. Why does Canelo have Boots in his camp sparring? Boots is, in my opinion, the future of the 154 and the 160 division, period. The one person that some people saying that Terrence is ducking, but he's in Canelo's corner because Canelo's deficiency is that Canelo has always, throughout his entire career, been outboxed, and he knows he's going to get in the ring, whether the guy is smaller and don't hit as hard, with a master boxer, and that's always been Canelo's weakness. Terrence has already forced Canelo to recognize that aspect of himself, and he got Boots in the corner with him. So Terrence won up so far psychologically. So I would say that, and that's where I stand right now. I don't know if they're going to win, but I see what the game is. Well, I've already explained the game plan.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be.
And I want you to come on back early this week. We'll break all of that down.
Yeah.
For the game plan. Thank you for coming again, and double salute again, Mr. Greg. Thanks for coming.
It's always a pleasure to see you. I'll probably be leaving later on this evening, but I'm gonna sit here because I'm gonna be out there for about 3 weeks.
Okay.
Will you be out there, by the way?
Well, Mr. Let me make sure I see your face, and I gotta take my glasses off to say this. I don't know, Mr. Greg, because I might need security when I walk around now. I don't know, bruh. I can't even put it out there for the people to line me up. I don't know I'll be out there. I don't know. I might be out there. I might not. I can't. Hey, Mr. Grant, I can't give it to him. That I can't just give you a layup. I don't know.
well, hit me up. I have few phone calls I can make if you just need to be shadowed. Just to make sure you can move like you want to move.
And I appreciate that. And let whoever you gonna have help me, Mr. Greg, let them know. Like Rachel Donier said, I'm broke. I might not have the money that they charge for executive security.
It'll be on me. I got guys who believe in no, I'm not. I ain't gonna
leave it alone, Mr. Greg.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave that alone. Okay.
Leave it alone. Hey, Mr. Greg, I'll talk to you later, man.
All right.
Thanks for coming up. Hey, man, listen, I love this show. I love it. Double salute to my guy, Jeremy Austin, coming through in the super chat. Appreciate you again, Jeremy. He's a member of the channel and a supervisor of the Roll the Tape film crew. And I didn't even know my boy was here. I didn't know he was here. My guy from DC. Oh, man, my brother's here. Double salute. DC Jeroy in the building. Always coming through the support. I greatly appreciate you, DC Jeroy, man. DC Jeroy says in the super chat, what's good, Brother Marty and Brother Greg? Gorgeous day today for cooking out. Go on, toss something on the grill for me. Every time you donate, DC Jeroy, we're going to go buy the groceries you like so we can go put them on the grill. And we, man, love you, man. Appreciate you. DC been here since day one, man. He been here day one. Appreciate you, DC. And then we got another super chat. And I love this one because there's a question. And I wish, who's this? I don't recognize the name. Donald Lyons. Double salute to Donald Lyons, 180. He just gave a super chat. And I appreciate your support and contribution, Don. Hey, Don, listen. I would have loved if you would have clicked the link, if you could have, because I want to be authentic when I'm giving you the answer to this question, but that's okay. I'm glad that you were able to support the channel. I have a very, very good answer for you. And I think that people would really, really be educated on how I answer this question, Don. Thank you for supporting the channel, man. Appreciate you. But this is what Donald said in the super chat. Donald says, Canelo and several teammates have a proven track record of using steroids. Yet, somehow, Crawford and his team under public investigations. How and why? I have a really great answer for you when it comes to me. I can't speak for nobody else, Don, but I can only speak for me when it comes to Canelo Alvarez, because you said Canelo has a track record of using steroids. The last time I checked, Canelo Alvarez did test positive for using the banned substance that's on the prohibited banned substance list known as clenbuterol. But he was also exonerated. Well, I'm not taking up for Canelo. Let's go by Terrence Crawford's own team. A year ago, and a year and a half ago, Terrence Crawford's team, Victor Conti, he gave some very crucial information on the process that exonerated Canelo Alvarez when he tested positive for clenbuterol. You know what? I'm doing way too much talking. Don't take my word for it. Roll the tape. Roll the tape.
So let me ask you this. I know it's always hard to kind of say if a guy did it or not because, we're not there. But, like, for example, the case of with Canelo and the tainted meat, quote unquote, it did go back and say, okay, it did seem like it was tainted meat because it was such a minuscule amount. With this counter bench situation, is there any possible chance of contamination or there's no way?
The answer is yes. Okay, so they did a big expose with ESPN when Canelo tested positive for clenbuterol. And they interviewed me and Canelo and the rancher. And they eventually went to the restaurant, got the receipts of the beef that they had bought from the slaughterhouse. They went to the slaughterhouse. Then they went even farther. They went and got data from many of the slaughterhouses in Mexico. And what they discovered was 30% of any meat produced in Mexico, you walk up to a hamburger stand and buy a hamburger, it'll give you a positive drug test. So, but now you have to look at the concentration and say, well, is it a level of accidental contamination or is it at a level where it would demonstrate intent to cheat? His levels were really low. So they were very consistent with exposure to contaminated meat. Where he took it one step farther was, and they basically listened to me because I was inquiring about this with the lab in Utah, and it cost about $2,500 to set this up to do a hair test. And then we presented to Canelo, well, you need to do a hair test. And he stepped forward and did the hair test. Now, hair is a very valuable sample because it's like urine, what your body's excreting, but instead of being the previous 24 hours or acute dynamic type of data, you get the long-term historic perspective. So if you have been using it to cheat over a period of time, they can even snip your hair into pieces and they say, look here, it's higher here, and tell you exactly precisely when you were using it. So maybe you didn't use it recently, but back here you were using a whole shitload of it. The fact that he did that and the results came back consistent with contamination, exposure, and not with intention to cheat, he's exonerated. So this surprised me, but he did the right thing. Canelo did everything possible to clear his name.
Those were the words of Victor Conte 6 months before the Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence fight in January of 2023. And that's what he said in an interview, fighthype.com. So that's the reason why I don't accuse Canelo of intentionally using clenbuterol to cheat based on the process that you all heard Victor Conte outline as far as him clearing his name, getting his hair tested, his blood and urine, and it gave a historical low limit of any usage to basically have the intentions of cheating. And on top of that, Victor Conte then said that particularly 30% of the meat in Mexico is contaminated with trace amounts of clenbuterol. Victor Conte said that Canelo Alvarez is exonerated. So that's why I don't really speak on Canelo. That's just me personally. I can't speak for anyone else, Don, but I hope, I was able to answer your question. The thing that, the thing that always interests me, and I'll let you guys go and ladies go really soon. The thing that interests me is people hold me accountable for words that I don't say. And as I keep on saying over and over again, and regardless of whether you agree with me or not, hold me accountable for the words that I say. Don't hold me accountable for the words that I don't say. Hold me accountable for what I say. I can stand on everything that I say, right or wrong. Hold me accountable. So if I tell you Terence Crawford's performance is enhanced based on what you see on your screen, which is an advertisement from Snack that says that Snack offers products that improve your level of fitness, help lose fat, build muscle, and enhance performance, don't get mad at me. Okay? Don't get mad at me. Don't try to hold me accountable for the words that I'm using, because I'm using the same words that's in the advertisement. Which means that Terrence Crawford's performance is being enhanced. And so are the other Snack fighters. Okay? That's all I'm saying. It's just like any other principle in human nature. Don't nobody want to go to jail for something that they did not do. So I don't want to be held accountable under public scrutiny for words I didn't say. Yeah, Manager Marty, but you're insinuating. What difference does it make? The insinuation is based on your interpretation. I don't have any control over what you interpret. That's on you. That's not on me. If I say Terrence Crawford's performance is enhanced, and you say, oh man, it sounds like you're saying he's using steroids. That don't have nothing to do with me. I said his performance is enhanced because he's with the Snack program. Now, if you interpret that as them using steroids, that's your problem. I'm not going to allow your issue to become mine. That's your interpretation, and you're entitled to it. But hold fast and hold yourself accountable and say, you know what? Maybe that's just my interpretation. It don't matter if you believe or not. What difference does it make? You're getting mad at me as a Terrence Bud Crawford fan. Watch this. Because I'm reacting to the actions of Bud Crawford. The action of Bud Crawford was what y'all just heard Victor Conte say. I played it for y'all a few minutes ago. He called Victor Conte personally. Victor Conte didn't call him. He called Victor Conte, knowing his history, knowing what it is that he does, knowing that Victor didn't have to sell him on anything, knowing that he wanted in with Snack. Thus, hey, don't get mad at me. Those are the words that Victor Conte told me that Terrence Crawford told him. Victor Conte said Terrence Crawford came back and told him that Demetrius Andrade told Terrence Crawford after he called Andrade, he said, Andrade said this, he can help you in many, many, many ways. Don't get mad at me. So y'all getting mad at my reaction, but you're not criticizing the action of Victor Conte. Hey, I caught Victor Conte lying 7 times when he talked to me. And guess what? I did a video exposing the truth and exposing the fact that he lied. Everything on the up and up is no point in lying. But unfortunately for Victor Conte, he has been dishonest. But y'all gonna get mad at me because I'm reacting to the dishonesty of him? That makes absolutely no sense. Hold him accountable for the lies that he told. He's incriminating himself. Don't get mad at me. But you can get mad, and that's all you're going to do is get mad because your favorite fighter went over there. Your favorite fighter, if your favorite fighter is Shakur Stevenson, he over there with Victor Conte. Your favorite fighter, Terrence Bud Crawford, he's over there with Victor Conte. If your favorite fighter is Devin Haney, he's over there with Victor Conte. If your favorite fighter is Bam Bam Rodriguez, he's over there with Victor Conte. If your favorite fighter is Clarissa Shields, she's over there with Victor Conte. If your favorite fighter is Caleb Plant, he's over there with Victor Conte. Should I continue or should I just stop there? I'll stop there. Your favorite fighter is over there. So if you don't care that your favorite fighter called Victor Conte and there's no suspicion in your eyes, then how can you then get mad at me for bringing it up? You can't have it both ways. Make sure the rules apply to everybody. Victor Conte is doing these videos. He's the one tweeting. He's the one that published a piece of document with Vada's letterhead on it, with 2 inconsistent dates, which means that it was subject to human error. But what was we hearing more about over that week when Victor did that? We kept hearing about the fact that Manager Marty and other content creators were only bringing up snack fighters because they were black. Come on, y'all. And with that being said, and I'll leave it like this. If Terrence Crawford, let me put it back on the screen so I want to make sure we all on the same page. Go and look at your screen. Because I didn't have not one Terrence Crawford fan come up here except for Mr. Greg. Some of y'all was in the live chat. Some of y'all gonna be in the comment section later. But only one Terrence Crawford fan came up to the show. Nip it in the butt. Now watch this. They're gonna be the same ones that didn't come over here and click the link and talk to me. They're gonna go on other people's panels, right? Then they're gonna talk about their grievances with what I said. But they didn't come over here. Okay. Victor Conti Sports Nutrition Company. Snack offers products that improve your level of fitness, help lose fat, build muscle, and enhance performance. So that means that the snack program works. And in closing, I say this. If the snack program works, if the advertisement was very, very accurate with regards to Terrence Crawford, if you a Terrence Crawford fan, make sure you include Terrence Crawford's performance being enhanced and his keys to victory to beat Canelo Alvarez. Because that's something that you did not do before he fought Errol Spence. When I gave you the opportunity the first time. Hopefully this time. Terrence Bud Crawford fans, if you're listening, make sure when you tell people on their panels or your friends off of YouTube, when y'all talk about this fight, make sure you include in your keys to victory. When you start to have to break down how Terrence Crawford gonna win, please make sure you include the fact that Terrence Crawford is with the snack program and his performance will be enhanced. And guess what? Even if you don't care about it, then I don't want to hear you criticize me. Because me and the Roller Tape Film family, we care about it. And I'll tell you why I care about it. Because when it's all said and done, whether you think I like Bud Crawford or not, that's your interpretation. When it's all said and done, Victor Conti is not the athlete. Okay? That's one of my biggest problems with the association with someone who's still suspicious. The athletes, they're going to have to suffer the consequences day in and day out. When people want to move forward with these fighters, when it comes to the Hall of Fame and inductions, when it comes to giving these fighters accolades, when it comes to us boxing fans just having bragging rights when these fighters win, some people have to put an asterisk next to some of these fighters' names because they were already good before they went to Victor Conti. They were already talented before they went to Victor Conti. Some of them were already undefeated before they went to Victor Conti, and even some of them were world champions before they went over to Victor Conti. So as I say in closing, my favorite 3 words. And before I give you my favorite 3 words, I'll be here live again tomorrow, live in living color. And hopefully we have more fans, whether you're a Terrence Crawford fan or not, whether you are a Canelo Alvarez fan or not. We're going to talk about the breakdown of this fight. That's nearly a week and a half away. Nearly, you might as well just say 2 weeks. 2 weeks away. How will Crawford win against Canelo? What does he have to do? How does Canelo win against Bud Crawford? What does he have to do? We need answers.